got the man himself, trainer extraordinaire Joel Diaz with us. Joel, what brings you here to Houston?
What brings me here? Well,
Yeah.
A good fight. I'm not working. It's one of those moments where I'm not working a fight. In this card, man, I see great fights. The whole card is full of great fights. So I decided to come and enjoy a good fight. Ryan Garcia, Oscar Duarte is going to be a good fight for the fans, and that's what got me here.
For sure. Talk to us a little bit about the fight. How do you think it's going to go? Where you think Ryan's at in terms of his training? Mentally, he's with a new guy in Derek James. What can we expect?
Well, just switching teams. He has to prove himself. Hopefully, Derek James got his mind where he needs to be, because Oscar Duarte is not a pushover. Oscar Duarte is a fighter that I trained most of his career, and being in my camp, I noticed that Oscar Duarte is very strong physically and mentally. So Ryan Garcia cannot sleep on Oscar Duarte, because if he feels that this is going to be an easy fight, he can walk away with a surprise. So that's what makes it interesting. Oscar Duarte comes with a mentality that he's going to win, and Ryan Garcia is, he's got a new team. He's got with his new trainer, a new plan of attack. So that's what's interesting about this fight. That's what I'm here. What
do you think is going to happen? Any early prediction?
Early prediction, I think all I think is it's going to be a good fight. It all depends on what Ryan brings to the table. When I saw him fight against Gervonta Davis, honestly, I put my money on Ryan, and he didn't show up. I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't know behind the scenes. So hopefully he's good for this one and puts up a great performance, and the outcome is good for the fans.
There you go. I mean, Coach, there's so much going on in boxing right now. We could talk about a million things, but the most recent big fight that everybody's talking about, of course, is Benavidez and Andrade. You saw the fight, I'm sure. What were your thoughts on it, and how likely do you think it is he actually gets Canelo this upcoming year?
With that kind of performances, it's going to be harder.
Yeah,
I mean, Canelo is a strong fighter, very strong fighter, but when he fought Ryder, he didn't look too good, honestly, because I think Ryder was just a fighter, was an opponent for 6-7 rounds. And facing a Benavidez that keeps coming strong, big, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Canelo to give Benavidez the opportunity. It's like, for example, Dimitri Bivol. After the Bivol fight, honestly, we were expecting for Canelo to say, you know what, hey, as a Mexican that I am, you know what, let's run it back. Let's do it again and prove the people, that I can beat this guy. But he never did. What he did was he went around and cut corners. He avoided, and up to this day, he keeps avoiding Dimitri Bivol. Well, it's understandable, right? He knows he can't beat him. At 68 or at 75, he will not beat Dimitri Bivol. So he's the last one on his list. And now with these kind of performances from Benavidez, it's going to be hard for Canelo to get for Benavidez to get Canelo. But I also think, Benavidez beating Demetrius Andrade was great. You can tell the difference, man, the difference in size. I mean, Benavidez is too big for Demetrius.
Yeah.
Demetrius Andrade, he was the best of him was at 154, and there was not much activity because a lot of fighters avoided him because he's a great fighter. He moved to 160 to see if he was lucky enough to get some activity, very minimum. So he says, I'll go to 68 and see what happens. It was just, I'm not taking credit from Benavidez. He's a great fighter. Demetrius Andrade is a great fighter. But I just think the size difference was a big factor that night.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it was obvious in the ring, and he imposed as well. And, he got the outcome that he got. How do you think Benavidez-Canelo would go if that fight were to happen?
You know what? Right now, it's a 50-50 fight, honestly. Before, I thought Canelo would dominate, will break Benavidez down with body shots because Canelo is pretty solid. But now, after his last performances, Benavidez, man, has been proving himself different. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it's a hard fight to predict, on both ends. To me, honestly, it's a 50-50 fight. Whoever, is hungrier that night is going to be the winner, honestly.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. What do you think about reports that Canelo's going to fight Munguia in May?
Canelo's going to fight Munguia?
Yeah, there were some reports that came out yesterday. I asked Oscar. He was a little elusive about it, but he put a smile on his face. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Jaime Munguia, young fighter, who was getting beat by Derevchenko on his last fight. I thought, honestly, he was losing the whole fight. The only thing that saved the fight was a body shot. I just think Canelo will hurt Munguia.
No, I think most fans do. I guess my question is, what are your thoughts about him taking that fight and not Benavidez?
I mean, it's an easier fight.
There you go.
I mean, there's your answer. Why
Yeah.
take Benavidez when you can take an easier fight on Munguia? I'm not saying Munguia is an easy fighter, but Munguia is more of a risk taker, you know. But his defense is not that great. He gets hit with everything. And Canelo, I think Canelo is too much for Munguia. Munguia is not ready for Canelo yet.
Gotcha. Last question. I appreciate all your insight. Haney just vacated his belts. He left 135 completely. He's got this fight coming up at 140, but he's talking about going to 147. What do you think about that, and do you think he's moving too fast?
I think he's moving too fast. To vote for 147, he's moving too fast. First of all, I mean, he doesn't have the knockout power at 135. You know, I haven't seen him hurt anybody bad, like knocking people out. I mean, stylistically, he's a great defensive fighter. I mean, his style is very defensive. He doesn't have the knockout power that exciting fight that he puts in. At a 147, I think it's gonna be tougher for him.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, listen, Coach, again, we appreciate all your insight, and I think we share the same sentiment. We hope for a great fight this weekend, and yeah, thank you for your time. We hope to see you again on Fight Hype soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you, Fight Hype, everybody always supporting us. Thank you for all the support, and we're here to watch a great fight.
For sure.